Welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and welcome to the tour of my finally somewhat completed art and craft studio. I say somewhat because if you are an artist or a crafter, you understand that nothing is ever complete in your studio. Things always move around. But since moving into this place, this space here, from my other one, I have finally been able to call it a studio and not a storage room. So here we go. Let's have a little tour. I'll try not to shake the camera too much. Right here at the doorway of the studio is a changing table that I literally pulled from somebody's curbside trash. They attempted to paint it, or someone did, and I don't think the paint job turned out like they wanted. But I don't mind. I think it's just fine. I use the top to lay things out. I use it as an ironing space. I have my ironing, I don't know what that's called. It's a little ironing pad. If I can get far enough away. Yes. And my pressing cloths are on it as well. Sorry for the view of the hallway. But this makes a really good space also to use my die cut machines and my laminating tools and different things like that that need a firm, hard surface. Underneath, in these baskets, these are all yarn. 2 big baskets of yarn. Under here, we find my tools, my fuse tool, my extra heat gun, a curling iron that I use for pressing ribbon. Let's see if I can pull it out a little more. My punch board, my label makers, all kinds of tools in there. If it plugs in, it's going to be over here probably because my plug-in is on the other side. And what is behind here fell down, so now I can't get my basket to push back in. So I'll fix that in a minute. Here I have sari silk and other fabrics that come in strips that I use in my journals. Over here in this basket I have more tools, my die cuts, embossers, my sticker maker machine, Xyron, there we go. All right, I'll come back up slowly. And we'll come around this way. On the end, I simply have some knitting needles and a learning to tat kit. My grandmother tatted, and I've wanted to learn how for a very long time. And someday I will learn. On this side, there's what fell down. On this side, tucked in behind those baskets, because it's a little messier over here, I have my 3 rolls of piano player music paper. I think I said that right. My iron sits right down there when I'm not using it. This photo album I got at a flea market, and it has a bunch of old photos in it that I plan to use. Down here is my little selfie printer and a little camera right beside it. And then up on the wall, I store clipboards and old calendars and just large pieces. My embroidery hoops are there. I love this piece of art that we got in Florida. I'm going to scoot over here. I don't know if anybody else has a favorite word, but joy is my favorite word. And we found this artist. This lady artist is made of wrapped wire and with joy written on it, and it was just so me that my husband said I had to get it. So I did. I get a little choked up there thinking about the memory. Here we have my colored pencils, my watercolor pencils, hole punches, jewelry making tools, paint brushes, drawing chalks and charcoals and pencils. And this cabinet I got on, let's see, was it Facebook Marketplace, I think. They said it was a dresser. It is not a dresser. but it is, I think, an old card catalog. Because when you open up the drawer, it's the perfect space to have index cards. And in this cabinet, I store beads. I store die cuts, which I think start this level. Yes, die cuts right there. Whoops, die cuts right there. And buttons. And these little Talenti ice cream jars come in so handy. Not to mention that they're just really, really good ice cream. But I can see through it and see what color buttons. I've got my buttons sorted according to color. On the side here, I have some journals. I have discovered as I was cleaning my studio that I have an issue. I collect journals, but I never use them. And so I sorted them out. I saved the most beautiful ones here. And the others I put on the other side of the room, and I will use them as covers for journals, as for papers to take apart and fill journals with. Down here, we have my coffee tea dyeing supplies, and beside it is a tray that has a bunch of tile samples in it. When we were getting ready to redo the bathroom, I ordered a whole bunch of samples, and I didn't want to throw them away, but I haven't used anything yet. Still trying to figure that one out. All right. Moving along here, we have this cabinet, or this shelf system that my husband made. And on it, the top is pretty things, but in this bag right here, I have my bookbinding supplies. I have a whole container of white buttons. Let's see, and I don't know why, but that basket right there doesn't have a thing in it. I need to make it useful. Here I have some card making supplies. I have pastels, gelatos, chalks in that center section there in those jars. I have various paper supplies in those file folders. I have some Bible journaling kits that I need to get caught up on in that particular one. Next to it, I have, I'm going to have to come over here and peek. Oh, these two hold glues and gessos and the like. In between, I have headbands and little, like, baby hair barrettes and things because they are really good for embellishments on journals. Over here in this one, I have feathers, fake flowers, leaves, things like that. On the shelf below, I have embroidery flosses and ribbons on clothespins and different types of strings and twines. Underneath here, this is all glitter. These are all mark making supplies like bubble wrap and sponges and all kinds of things. Next to it is watercolor supplies, and next to that is the acrylics drawer or bin, whatever. I've discovered that I have some paper supplies over here and some mostly fabric and fiber supplies over here, and on the shelf behind me is a similar mix. And I just need to figure out how to get all of my fabric and fiber on one side and all my paper supplies on the other. At least I think I need to. I'm not sure. I may decide not to. Right over here, this is another trash to treasure. I pulled that chest out of somebody's trash and replaced all the knobs. And I store a lot of different things in there. We'll go into that in a moment. Here I have different projects that are lined up. Right now I have 6 projects in there. Up here I pin things that I need to refer to, like when I'm doing a challenge with Dear Julie, I will print out all the requirements and put it up there so that I can keep an eye on it. Up there, that I bought specifically for making videos and then rearranged the room, and it doesn't work for that anymore, so I'm still trying to figure that use out. Next to my little cabinet, this 3-tier wire rack I got from Hobby Lobby, and it holds doilies, tablecloths, my vintage gloves, different things like that. Right now there's a little picture frame on there because I'm planning to use it for a project and I did not want to misplace the frame. In these drawers, we have staples and binder rings and my gloves that are my wrist supports for when my hands start to get a little achy. This one is miscellaneous. It's got wipes and some extra candles, rubber bands, these things that I think I'm going to try to use for binding a journal. I saw something on Pinterest and I really do want to try it, and they were like cheap marked down. Here I've got more chalks, some more miscellaneous, my water jars for when I'm doing watercolors, tape, more binder rings. And in this drawer, I have hole reinforcers, shipping labels, and that kind of stuff. That bottom drawer does not want to open and close very well, but what can you expect? It was free. This is my closet. We'll do it last. Over here on this wall, I have all of my ink pads, and I store the Distress Oxides upside down. I read somewhere that helps keep the ink at the top, and thus far it seems to have worked. Down here I have a basket that is full of guest checks and sales receipt books and things like that. Always have my coffee. I always have it. And that little warmer there, oh my goodness, it keeps my coffee hot all day long, and it makes me so happy unless I forget a cup of coffee on it on Friday and find it on Monday, and then I have sludge. So there's a tip. Remember to take it off and turn it off. Underneath here I have my travel tote that has colored pencils and watercolor pencils, along with a watercolor brush. A water brush, maybe. I have some little organizers there that I have a plan for, but I haven't implemented it yet. I have odds and ends in this one, like date stamps, glues, a light for my camera, different highlighter markers. Here are my scrap bins. These are for big scraps, bigger than my hand, little scraps, smaller than my hand, and then napkin scraps right there. And here I have organized, in here I have my stencils, a bunch of my stencils. There's a few art paper books there, and there's a whole bunch of journals, happy planners, things like that down there on the bottom. Moving in on this basket right here holds my current projects, and right now I have 1, 2, 3, and then there's a fourth one under there. 4 projects in here going right now. I have to multitask or I never get anything done. The paper towels that I haven't figured out a better way to put them. In here, I keep my punches in these top 2 drawers. Next drawer is paper clips and brads. I have all kinds of paper clips and brads. Here are my dies. This whole drawer is full of dies, and it's so disorganized, and I need to figure something out. And down here I have my shape cutting scissors. I have a circle cutter, an extra blade for my cutting board, and embossing folders. Here's my toolbox. Got my hammer, my screwdrivers, measuring tapes, things like that in there. My trash can sits on top of it because it just doesn't work any other way. And this is my desk that my husband made for me. Has a glass top, cleans up beautifully. And underneath of it, pardon the noise, I have one of the 9-cube storage units that holds a whole lot of my books. Down here in this corner, I have Happy Planner stickers. I do have a project in mind for those 2 Rolodexes. Whoops, my camera doesn't like that. Tries to focus on my finger. I have more of those Talenti jars right up here with huge paper clips and binder clips. Another one here that's got bottle caps for a project that I'm getting ready to put together, hopefully. This basket has all kinds of game cards in it. This holds tea dyed, onion dyed, avocado dyed, all different kinds of dyed papers, and I'm about out, so I need to make some more. I have stamps in that little jar, more books. Down there at the bottom, I have all my brads, and I'm planning to organize them into those purple and pink bags that I saw. Oh, who showed me? I don't remember, but I saw it on a YouTube video, so I'll see if I can find it. Next to here, I've got my two cutting boards. I know that's not the right word. Why am I having trouble with that? Paper cutters. I have both of them are right there. There are also extra canvases. My tripod for my camera that is hanging on an S-hook underneath. And my step ladder also hanging on an S-hook underneath, because I can't reach my camera mount for making videos. So I'm having to use that to get up there. On top of my desk, I have this lovely little jar. This, not jar, it's not a jar, it's a tray. And I keep all of my rose gold copper colored things on here, mostly because it's pretty. I hardly use anything in this jar, but it just acts like a, I don't know, like a little flower bouquet. I think it's pretty, so it stays there. Got my little fan back there because this is the hottest room in the house. This window faces south, and the solar gain, oh my goodness, even in the winter I sweat. I have my iPad Pro here where I can watch all of my videos on how to do things with my little screen cleaner up there. Hi. Here's my favorite action figure ever, Ben Franklin. I was so happy when I found him. I think I got him at Goodwill for 69 cents, and I love it. Moving along, I've got things that are sorted into these jars. These are my long paper strips. These are my paint brushes, not paint brushes, makeup brushes that I use with my inks. I have regular ones, and I have these blender brushes, and right there, they are so handy right there. And this one has some candles in it that I think are Sabbath candles or Shabbat candles. Somebody told me that they were, that the Jewish families would use on Fridays for their Sabbath dinner, and doing the ritual that comes beforehand that is just so beautiful. Moving along, I have this little container that actually held these jars and had something else in this part. The jars were on their sides, and I just disassembled and then reassembled it, and it makes a lovely little organizer tray where I keep odds and ends. I love these paper clips. I use them when I don't need a whole lot of force, but I do need something to be held together. I use them all the time. Let's see, these two jars are empty. This one is a jar where I started to save my little hole punches. I guess I was going to make confetti or something, who knows. And here, I probably need to change that out now. I keep the baby wipes that I'm using in there so that I can use them more than once and actually get a lot more use out of them, because it keeps it from drying out. And then I can get rid of it when it is no longer usable and put another one in there. My little spray bottle that I use a lot. This is one of my favorite tools. It is the carousel holding the tools. I have everything organized in here. I have pokes and pulls, which is going to be little crochet hooks, latch hooks, needles, different things like that. My glue, writing utensils, cutting utensils, tools, miscellaneous tools, and more tools. That is the best thing ever. Let's see, here's my notes. I always have to keep scratch paper because I'm always thinking of things that I need to remember. Okay, we're done with the desk. Oh, and my binder clips, my heavy duty binder clips for when I'm making my books, and they just slide right on the glass right there. I love it. On this sewing machine table, which I also got for, I think $20 maybe. I may have gotten it on Free Cycle even. I have a piece of glass. I have my paper sewing machine on there. I use this just for paper and for journal making. I have my other sewing machine for actually making clothes and stuff in the closet. My sewing basket is right down here. My scrap basket right there. I have 3 aught lights in here because the lighting was terrible, and then I changed light bulbs, and it's so much better in here now in the light fixture. I changed the ones in the light fixture. On this side, I have a basket full of my paper rolls. There's blueprints and wrapping paper and shelf paper and all that different kind of stuff. I think I even have a roll of parchment paper in there. Underneath is something that I'm still looking for a home for. It holds my catalog and magazine cutouts so that they can be kept nice and flat. I have more books on this side of that 9-cube shelf. Over here, I love this little cabinet. I think I got it for $5 or $10. And in it, I have metal supplies galore. If it's a chain, if it's a hook, if it's a, let's see, bulb pens, yes. All those different things. I have all kinds of stuff in here. This drawer, I think, will make you laugh because I even have a tuna can in here. I have chain from a plant hanger. I have ball bearings and just miscellaneous bits and pieces of this, that, and everything. If it's metal, it's in here. More metal and an assortment. I got this on Amazon. An assortment of bulb pens in all different kinds of colors. And that made me happy to find that. I've used it quite a bit. Whoops, and something shifted. Let's see if I can get this back in there now. Beside it, I have a tub where I've put together a whole bunch of supplies to make Christmas cards. And I'll be getting on that soon. Up here across the window, I have to show you this. I got this sari at a Goodwill outlet store where things are 69 cents for a pound. And it probably weighs a pound. So for 69 cents, I got that lovely, lovely sari that I use as a curtain. Okay, moving to this side, we have my bulletin board that is full of ideas and things and just fun stuff, including that little baby booty that my daughter wore home from the hospital 30 years ago. And I'm still trying to figure out where I put the sweater and the hat and the other booty. Here I have a collection of old books. I mean, super old. Some of them are like 18 something. I have my calendar that I need to catch up, along with stickers behind it. More old books. Down here, I have some of my bigger books that I use in journaling. Those are like music books right there. Dictionaries, encyclopedias. These are all hymnals over here. This is a memory book that I'm working on. Under there I have my beading tray and a board that I use when I really need to hammer hard on something. I have lots of various little bowls that have bits and pieces that I just haven't sorted out. They're just, I mean, just a bunch of different little things in each of the bowls. This drawer is a mess, I will warn you right now. I have my ribbons that don't fit on the clothespins and that are just like, this is felt ribbon right here, so it doesn't wrap around. This ribbon has buttons sewn to it. I also have some different things like tassels. I have tacks, little tiny nails, extra push pins, stuff like that in this drawer. Under here, I have this magazine rack that holds all of my loose scrapbook papers. Now let's see if I can get that put back in there with one hand. It's heavy because it's full. There we go. Sorry about that. You can just stare at my cabinet for a minute, I guess. On this side, I have different papers, my heavyweight printer paper, transparency papers, file folders, different things like that. And in this box in here, I have felt. It's easy enough to get to. I don't use it very often. I just pull this out and then get the felt, and it's fine. Okay, last shelf. I'm going to move as slowly and as gently as I can to back up so that you can see it. My husband built this shelf as well. I can't quite get all of it in the camera at the same time. But up here at the top, let's see if I can, right up here at the top, these are some different books, instruction books, different things like that. Books that I get coloring pages from for my journals. I have a sketchbook. These two boxes have drawers in them that I put all of my markers in. These Copic markers up here I still need to put in because I just got them, I don't know, a few months ago. Just got them. This little box here holds little plastic bags for sorting tiny things. I have all of my wood block letters and number stamps in that 3-tier tray, and I have a plan to organize those stamps so it's a little prettier. Here I have foam stamps, more of my acrylic stamps. These are all block-based stamps. That basket, I'm going to have to move in because I don't know that I can remember without looking. I think that this basket is tags. I still have to, yes, I need to label all of my bins. These are various things that I've made to be ready just to get scraps taken care of. I've also got my doilies in here, some cards I made, different things like that. I've got old library cards, a couple of smaller journals that I've just tucked in here for safekeeping. I'll put that in the front because it's actually pretty. I've got Project Life cards, index cards, all different kinds of things that are waiting to go into junk journals to be used. Like I already made this journaling card. I just haven't put it in a journal yet. Same with this one. And these back here. They're just waiting for the perfect home. This is my trash to treasure bin. It's all things that would be thrown away that I didn't want to throw away because I knew that they could be used. All kinds of stuff makes it into here. And these are some pieces that were too big to fit in there. Underneath there, I have little notepads and notebooks. I have cards and envelopes. I have the extra journals I was talking about earlier. I put in here, I can use them for paper. I can use the covers. I may even just alter them and make them a gift. Index cards and some other kinds of journaling supplies. In this one is a project that I'm putting together for a class I'm teaching. Sneak peek if you're in the class. Down here I have papers like school notebook papers, bridge score pad, graph papers, stationery, different things like that. These are my paper pads that are still in the booklet form. I haven't taken them apart. Here is, let's see, these are my trims. All different kinds. Odds and ends like that. If I see these in a store, they are mine. So, because I just grab them up because I use them. Here are my fabrics that really don't fit in a category. It's like burlap and jute and muslin and cheesecloth and all kinds of things. And then this little box has other fibers in it. My color catcher sheets that I've used and my dry cleaner sheets that I've dyed. And then last stop is behind the door. Behind my doorstop that I made out of 2 wine bottles, some jute and some raffia and put into a basket with a brick in the bottom. Excellent doorstop. So here we go. Here's my thread organizer. Simple enough. And here is one of my issues. I have so much washi, it's ridiculous. So I need to go through it and maybe I'll include them in a giveaway. I am almost at 100 subscribers. I think I am 1 subscriber away from 100. When I hit that 100, I will be doing a giveaway. Thank you so much for joining me in my studio for this walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you will come back. Whoops. Let's try this again. I forgot the closet. Life with Tommy. At least the closet's pretty quick. Inside the closet, I have these drawer organizers. I have this bag of bags and canvas, 2 canvases that I have plans for. This drawer is glue dots and such. Those are napkins. Underneath that is tissue paper. These are all of my stickers organized by what they are, letters or pictures or 3-dimensional items. I have drawing pads and watercolor pads here on the side. In these bags, I have my paper making kit. I have flowers, artificial flowers. I have fabric bags, and I have stencils that are too large to fit on my shelf. Here I have different clipboards and papers and such. There's a couple of kits in there. In here, I have little paper pads, not the 12 by 12s. These are different projects that I need to complete. More projects I need to complete. And the bottom one is wood pieces. Under here in this tote, I have my laces. I have another box back there that has, oh, I can't remember what's in it. I'll have to look. There's a box back there that has stuff. Here are my big cardboard pieces, like my science fair boards that I use. And this has like my large pieces of paper, large watercolor papers, large rice papers. This tote has fabric. Okay, I don't know where I stopped. So this tote has fabric. This tote has tablecloths, pillowcases, things like that that I am going to use for projects. My fabric sewing machine is back there. I have more canvases right here, another tub of fabric, a bunch of different papers organized in here. This is a tote that needs to be sorted through. And this is a project that is being flattened. This is where I keep cards and notes that people have sent me over several years. Up here I have a bag of tissue papers. I have in this tub, or basket, excuse me, in this basket I have Post-it notes. Bunches and bunches of Post-it notes. Again, I have issues. This has brown paper wrapping, packaging paper. This box right here has book covers that I've taken the guts out of, that I've taken the book block out of, but I wanted to keep the cover. That tote there is, oh my goodness, something else. It'll come to me. Up there I have a bunch of old patterns. This one has something else in it. Oh my goodness. I'm so unorganized. That's my rock tumbler, my paint spinner, fleece, not fleece, filling, and 3 guitars that I have plans for. There we go. Now I think that we are finished. I think I'm finished. Thank you for joining me. And today I will choose joy. I have that sign hanging there to remind me. And I hope that you will remember as well to be kind always.